want to thank our service members who are here. They answer the call to duty. They volunteer to protect our democracy, our right to speak, our right to assemble, our right to practice our faith. Those are fundamental freedoms, and we believe in that. That's the heart and soul of our democracy. And as you know, we have many men and women of Illinois who are deployed in faraway places around the globe, including Afghanistan. And also there are some of our soldiers who are in military hospitals here in Illinois and also in Landstuhl, Germany, which is the American Medical Center for those who are wounded in Afghanistan. And it's very important, I think, at this time that we reach out to those who are working in those hospitals and definitely to our wounded warriors and wish them a happy holiday. And so we're so grateful to all the children of Illinois, all the students of Illinois who have volunteered to do a homemade holiday card, Christmas card, to send to one of our wounded warriors or someone working in a military hospital all across our state and across our country. So we're going to light the Christmas tree today. This is a great tradition, but it's also a great tradition that so many young boys and girls take some of their time in order to help our heroes, our men and women in uniform who are defending our democracy. And next month, middle of the month or so, I'm going to be going to Landstuhl, Germany. I've been there many times, to the military hospital there, and I'm going to deliver your cards, and we're really grateful that all of you could join us today.
It is a joy, really, to kick off our holiday season, at least formally here in the Thompson Center this morning. It is hard, I think, to beat a ceremony like this with the children singing and the lights, the trees, and so many dedicated state employees who have been pulled out of their cubicles and offices to share and join in a moment of holiday cheer with us this morning. So thank you all for being here. Governor, I'd like to start by thanking you for remembering, as you always do, our service members at this time of year, and especially for delivering the handmade cards of children like those in front of us here this morning to our service members overseas. Any soldier will tell you, and I actually think we're about to hear from one shortly, how much the arrival of notes like these means when you're serving overseas far from family and loved ones. They really are a respite and a reminder that folks back home remember and appreciate your sacrifice, and never more so is that the case than during the holiday season. Last year, shortly after this tree lighting ceremony, I had the privilege of joining the USO of Illinois in putting together care packages to send to some of our soldiers overseas. And we were able to put in hundreds of the cards that the governor helps to collect from children across the state, which gave me the joy of being able to look through and read a number of these cards that kids like you made. There were wonderful notes in there, notes of encouragement, prayers for healing, notes of thanks, and quite a few nonsensical meanderings of first graders with their drawings, but every single one of those arrived in the hands of a service member overseas and created for that service member an at-home moment, the reminder, as I mentioned, that folks back home do remember and appreciate. So thank you to all of you who created a card and to all of those of you whose kids created cards. It really does make a great difference. Even as we do remember those who are overseas, we remember this morning, as the governor has, those for whom the holiday season is not as simple as for the rest of us, and for whom it really is a season of a tough season, really, for whom what should bring joy brings grief. And while grief may ebb and flow, it never goes away. I was reminded of that earlier this week at our Veteran of the Month ceremony in Edwardsville in southern Illinois, where I had the sad honor of meeting a woman in her 8th or 9th decade of life who had lost her son in Vietnam. And the very mention of her son's name by our Veteran of the Month, his boyhood friend, in his acceptance remarks, touched that raw nerve in her and was enough to overcome her some 40 years later. Afterward, when her tears had dried, she hugged me and told me how much it meant that her son was still remembered these 40 years later. And so that's in part what we're doing here today by pausing to remember with our Gold Star families the loss of your loved ones and the tremendous sacrifice that they made for our country. So as always, and on behalf of all of us who have joined here this morning, thank you to our Gold Star families for what you have endured, for your sacrifice, and for helping us to remember them here today as we celebrate a season of cheer. Thanks very much.
The Christmas tree lighting ceremony is a time we can honor our fallen heroes and their families. It's a time for us to reflect on the selfless sacrifice of our military veterans, past and present. During this time of season, we start gift shopping, making plans to visit families and friends for the holidays. We also start mailing out cards for those who are traditionalists. This is another year for the governor. This is another year the governor will send out Christmas cards to our troops in other countries. When one of our troops receives a card while deployed over the holidays, it helps with morale. It brings a little bit of home to the battlefield. When troops receive unexpected letters from children and strangers over the holidays, they really appreciate the time and the consideration from complete strangers to send these cards out to overseas. So please take the time to send a card to our troops over the holidays. God bless you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.
Thank you for protecting me and my family and friends, and Merry Christmas to all the soldiers.
Dear friend, I hope you feel better soon. Thank you for serving our country. You're my hero. We are so proud of you that you are risking your life for our freedom. Yours truly, Tiffany.